96.5 WKZO time is 7:14 and up bright and early on a Saturday morning and live in the studio. And we don't get many people who come in here live at this hour. Is Mike Benthin. Mike, your home is in foreclosure.
That's correct.
And before we get into what's going on right now, if you wouldn't mind, give us a brief history on how you ended up in this predicament where Bank of America is about to take your home away from you.
Not a problem. Basically what happened is when the stock market and the economy and everything else kind of fell through, my job and my fiance's job, unfortunately, both eventually went with them. So the home that was easily affordable while we both had full-time steady jobs now became a lot to bite off. So at the same time, the president was announcing all these great programs. We're going to make homes affordable. We're going to make sure Americans keep their homes. And I thought, wow, that's perfect timing. You know, what could be better than that? And Bank of America ended up acquiring Countrywide, which is where my loan originated from. So I didn't choose Bank of America as my servicer. It just ended up there. Sure. And I started calling them, hey, you know, I'm going to be falling behind real soon here because I'm about out of saved up money. And I want to try to qualify for one of these programs the president has because he's telling everybody that they're going to be able to stay in their houses. So basically, long and short, 3 years later, here I am still trying to fight for my home and having it sold and supposed to be evicted on Monday.
Now, the Bank of America, how many times did you approach them and want to take a look at the mortgage and see what could be worked out?
I called them monthly for 2.5 years. Okay. So, and the downside was that every time you would call, you would speak with a different representative who would give you information. And when you called back, the next representative you spoke with didn't know what the last one told you. Suggested doing something else, you know, in order to qualify, and nothing that they told me to do that I accomplished ever worked out to a point where they told me I qualified for a modification or anything else. So even to the point where one told me to not make payments for 5 months, and 5 months later said, oh, well, if you'd like to reinstate your loan, we're going to need the equivalent of 6 months payments. And I'm like, wow, that was really helpful. Thanks. Yeah. Reinstate, so I don't have a loan anymore? What happened?
Okay. When did you first hear that the bank was coming for the home and that they wanted you out of it?
Absolutely. The bank actually had about 30 sale dates on my house over the past 3 years that were scheduled where they just didn't sell it. So after a while, it got tired of checking to see, like, wow, it's just another sale day. You know, it went by. I asked him if I could do a short sale on it because at the time there were a lot of people that were getting out of the foreclosure process by getting a sale on their home, right? Yeah. And every time I'd ask them that, they'd say it was too close to the sale date, so I couldn't ask for a short sale. It was either turn over the home or sign a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which were both not good options. You know, either one of them meant having to leave my home and move on. So I didn't find out that the sale had actually happened until January of this year, February, or something like that. I got a letter from Trott & John attorneys saying that Bank of America was coming to take possession of their home, and in 14 days I had to be in front of a judge for an eviction hearing. So,
and when did that happen?
The house was actually sold in June, so 6 months later from that, I heard beginning of January that I was going to be sued and evicted.
Okay. And how did Occupy Kalamazoo get involved in your situation?
Well, I just through the years and watching the news and things like that, I'd heard of the Occupy Our Homes organization. So I went on their website and saw where you could sign petitions for other families that were going through similar situations, and signed one at the bottom that said, would you like to give us a little bit of information about your story? So I wrote. I kind of figured, mine's not that unique, not that special, not that great. You know, if I hear from them, awesome, but I'm not going to hold my breath, after 3 years of fighting with the bank. And finally, about 9 days ago, one of the ladies from Occupy Our Homes called and said, wow, what's going on? And I explained it to her, and she said, well, we're going to have to really work fast on this one. And from there, got me in touch with some people in Detroit at Moratorium Now, and that led me to the nice people at Occupy Kalamazoo, and they brought in Michigan United. So I mean, the support that showed up in moments' notice has been amazing. I'd have never imagined that a week ago, I'd be sitting here talking to you about why my house is being taken. So,
Why are they trying to help you in particular? How did you surface as one of the foreclosing situations that they're involving themselves with?
I think mainly because it's hard to believe, but I guess I was one of the people that's willing to stand up and say, "Wait, you're not going to do this to me." So, and I got to imagine, I know that I've gotten Facebook messages from people now that this has started saying, "Hey, oh my God, this happened to me 2 months ago. I fought for my home for a year and a half," and I've met other families in the area that are going, "Oh, I got a brother, I got a sister, I got an aunt, whatever it might be, that are going through this." And I'm hoping, nonetheless, even if I end up losing the house, at least I raise enough awareness that other people won't be scared to stand up and say, "Wait a minute." And if enough of us can bind together, we can make this stop. Because Americans, we're here to help each other. We're doing no service to the country by taking all of our taxpayers and throwing them out in the streets. But we help ourselves not at all.
Okay, at this point, you said you offered Bank of America a short sale.
Correct.
That's where you sell the house for what you can get for it.
Right.
And they accept that as the end of the mortgage.
Correct.
Where do you want to see this go at this point? Obviously, you'd like to keep you and your son in your home.
Right.
But what is it you'd like to see happen at this point?
Well, I just want the same thing that I've always asked them for, is just to come to an agreement between us and them that makes my home affordable so we can stay in it. I've never asked for anything for free. I don't want a handout. I've been working since I was 14 years old. My family raised me on the principle that if you want something, you work for it, and you work hard. And I have no problem with that. I would gladly work for what I get. But we have to come to some place where, with the programs that are offered and the money that they were given, that we can stay in the home and not be pinching every single penny that has to go out the door in order just to make a mortgage payment.
Right. Are you upside down in the house now? Has the home's value dropped below what you owe on the mortgage?
Far below, yeah. I bought a fixer-upper to start out with because I was frugal when we went home shopping, so I bought it for around $115,000. The equalized value on it now I think is $47,600, so that gives it a retail of about $90,000. And according to the bank, the amount I owe after fees and penalties and late charges and whatever is $158,000. So, well, it's well below.
Sure. Where does it go from here? Have you heard anything from Bank of America?
I have heard from Bank of America, and it's funny because we actually went to the branch yesterday during our little. It's not really a protest; it was just sort of an awareness stand. I didn't want to. I didn't want to say that everybody in Bank of America is bad, because the people at the branches and the people that I talk to most of the time aren't bad people. They're just doing their job.
People doing a job, yeah.
So, but I got a chance to talk to one of the customer service manager people for Michigan and Indiana. At the same time, I got a phone call from one of the people in California at Bank of America's corporate offices, and I asked them, what do people like me do if I come to your branch? If I'm having a bad time getting through with the redemption people and the retention people, and it's a process like mine, and I come to my branch because you're the only people at Bank of America that I can sit and look at face to face and say, what do I do?
Sure.
What are my options? And basically it was, well, we got these service centers in Detroit, and that's bad. So I asked the guy on the phone, what do I do? He works for the social media team. So I guess what I got from it all was, if it's rough and you're not getting what you want, the louder you speak on Facebook and on Twitter and on Yahoo or wherever else it might be, the more willing Bank of America is to dedicate one of their representatives to making sure that you're taken care of properly.
So have you heard anything from Bank of America thus far that makes you hopeful?
Well, I've heard that they're going to postpone my eviction, not cancel it, which, I really want somebody to say to me, hey, look, we're going to keep you in the home. We have the programs available. Here's what we're going to do. But they said they're going to postpone it and have sent me the paperwork to start the process I went through 3 years ago all over again. So, in a way, I'm thankful that I probably aren't going to be homeless on Monday morning, but not to the point where I'm willing to say, all right, thank you, Bank of America, for coming around and finally doing something to help me out, because there's no guarantees from anyone that come next Monday they don't send them back out to throw me in the street. So.
Well, thanks for coming in this morning. We're talking with Mike Benthin, and he is one of the thousands of people who are potentially losing their place to live.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate your coming in this morning and sort of fleshing out the story.
Absolutely. And if I
for
could
us.
too, before I go, if there are other people out there that are struggling like this and just haven't known what to do, if they get a hold of Occupy Our Homes, or go on Facebook and get a hold of Occupy Kalamazoo, or anyone that can start getting the word out for them that there's help out there. If you have the will, there is a way. So
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
thank you very much.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
590 96.